Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Jim Rambles On. I'm going to see if I can do this in 10 minutes, although I think it's going to run a little long. This is actually my third try. Okay, so what I want to talk about is social media and the epic nothing. I mean, it's so strange. I have a hard time grasping it, but, so it's like this epic thing. Anyway, the internet has the potential, and it has changed things. It's along the lines of the printing press, with people's ability to communicate, and how it will change the world, how it has changed the world. So I was thinking, especially along the lines of 2016 and just prior and after that, when memes and communication were going full steam, I thought it was like part of a movement, I don't know if you remember Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, but that was a big movement. And they got laws changed, and they got things done. So I felt like it was part of that. We're all finally able to communicate beyond the restrictions of the controlled news and all that. So I've been at it for years. I've been really putting in a lot of hours trying to interact with people on social media. Now, of course, I have a Facebook account and a Twitter account. Excuse me. I'm disgusted by those. But, Facebook is where all the family is, and high school friends and things like that. So it has its benefits, being able to communicate with everybody like that. I'm also on Gab, One Way, Fediway, however you say that. MeWe, Minds, but they don't have nearly the activity of Gab. All right, Gab has a lot of activity. So I'm still there, even though people have said you need to get out. Now, what I've seen are, of course you have, I don't know about you, but I have these dark days where it's sort of like conspiracy under every rock. And if you saw the first video, don't jump me. It's just, look at what I'm really saying. So you have those days, and it looks like more than half the accounts at Gab are infiltrators of some sort. Now I think I might be understanding why. There's a lot of real accounts there and real people, but I'm starting to get a grasp of why. There always did appear to be, especially with the the Nazis and the Hitler people, National Socialists. That looked like bad optics and just trying to make the right look bad and get people going that direction. Not only that, I think some of those accounts were from different sources. I won't go into details, but I found it very interesting, upon analyzing. That's another deal. Anyway, so the different types of infiltrating accounts. But now, not all infiltrators. Some of them are just plain dumb. Like the memes you see about an incident will happen, and somebody will say, "Do the Democrats realize how insane they look?" My reaction now is, okay, well, let's wait another 40 years for them to figure out how insane they look. It's just another form of let's wait. And no, let's try and do something. Then you have, there's a number of different types of infiltrators. You have the doom, everything is so bad. I'm so disappointed with Trump. I'm disappointed with God too. Oh, woe is me. I saw one the other day. I don't know whether it's, what the intent was. The gal replied to 3 small paragraphs. The guy, she said, "That's too long. I don't want to read it." Well, great, honey. I guess you have the attention span of a garden slug. The biggest one is division. You see these people divided any way they can, and what we really need to remember. I could say this on every single video. Somebody's out on a 2-stroke motorbike. Anyway, what we all need to really remember, if you're in terms of political activism, who the real enemy is. It's the people, the central banking schemes, the people behind the sleazy entertainment and education, the comprehensive indoctrination machine. I was raised in that, and it's really bad. That's where we need to stay focused, not on each other. Not on trying to critique round earthers because you're flat. That's so dumb. That's obviously an infiltrator. But you have other ones like You have theological differences, or you have this rise of people wanting to get back to their European pagan roots from hundreds of years ago. And I got an argument with one of those guys, and I think I fairly well pummeled him. Everybody probably thinks that of themselves, but anyway, one of the things they said, one of the last things was, well, we were great until you Christians came and ruined us, ruined everything, took over. And I said, do you realize what you sound like? You sound like we was kings, you know, and if you hurt them too bad, they leave. And not only do they leave, all of them leave. I have these accounts where I'll follow anybody, because everybody can once in a while, stop the clock syndrome, whatever it is, come up with a decent point. You know, even if I don't like your complete agenda, as long as you're not posting pornography or something, that's the first thing that I won't talk to you ever again if you're posting pornography. So they all those accounts vanish, at least from my seeing them. At Gab, there is a feature where you can force unfollow. You can make somebody not follow you. All right. So they were all gone at once. All these pro-pagan European things, they went like that. And in a sense, it's admirable efficiency, but it's probably more like controlled opposition. They were fake accounts anyway. And what I was doing was muddying the water in this little tide pool. And what I mean by tide pool is only a guess, because my evidence is limited. I mean, it's real, but when you're talking about 2 or 3 people, wouldn't that be considered anecdotal? Whatever. Here's what happened. Gab allows you to make lists, and when you've got 1,000 people you're following, 1,000 people following you, or whatever it is, you're bound to miss some of the people you really want to see. So I had 3 lists. I had friends and political activists, and then these other go-to people who did some neat SEO lessons and stuff like that. The friends were the people I made friends with when I first went there, and we, not all politics, and then the activists are people who are kind of the intelligentsia, whatever. They had some stuff that was thought-provoking. I wanted to see it. What I noticed on my friends list was I had not seen my friends' posts in like 5 days or a week, and I thought it's strange. So I went to their profile, and they've been posting, and I don't think they muted me. I don't think they unfollowed me, forced unfollowed me, or anything like that, because I would go to their profile. I'm still following them. They're still following me, as far as I know, and I would go and look at things they posted, and I would, like it or repost it, and they would come to my profile and do the same thing, just like the old days. We would, go through each other's stuff, and because we had stuff in common, old-timey stuff, survival, backwoods, and so friends, and so it was just like the old days, and I thought, that's funny how. And what was really interesting was how selective it was, who was not showing up in my list and who wasn't showing up on my timeline and who was. That was particularly interesting. So I'm on, then I go to the other one, the political activist, and there's a guy there making a comment on one of the bigger name, at least for Gab, one of the bigger name posts, and he's saying, it's the same exact thing. He's saying, the people I want to see aren't showing up on my timeline, and it's really weird. It looks deliberate. The guy who he was commenting to said, yeah, you know what? I used to get, when I would make a post, I would get 100 and something likes and shares, and now I'm down to 8 or 9. This is really weird. Something's going on. So, it looks like Gab has been hacked, or it was, some phony baloney program from the start. I don't really know what. It could, of course, be a glitch, and then I'm a conspiracy under every rock. It's possible that there was a glitch that showed up this way. It sure looks selective, though. It's certain. Very interesting coincidence how selective it was. Anyway, so let's assume that it's real. There's a selective thing, And what happens then is there's a number of fake accounts, and what shows up in your timeline is like that pagan thing. So you end up with this discussion, you end up surrounded by, in what I call a tide pool. You've got the main body, and then you've got this little tide pool. And you're over here thinking you're just normal social media interaction, but you're really off with the so I think that's real. I'm not absolutely positive. And what happened with the pagan discussion was I was stirring up, I was muddying the water too bad. So of course, you're out of here, buddy. That sort of thing. Now, all those different, there's another type of fake account, I think, and that's the haters. Hate to anybody on the left all the time, 24/7, 365. There was a post about a woman it was a copy of a Twitter tweet. She was something like, I'm single, I'm 31, I'm moving back to the Bay Area where my folks are to maybe restart my life. I'm not sure what to do. And the hate that was aimed at this woman, like, you stupid whore, and on like that. Not a single thing that was realistic. I think what's realistic is she was, as I was, raised in the indoctrination machine. And if she got to be 31 with a career without being a fallen down drunk or drug user or criminal record, hey, not bad. Sure, she doesn't know Christ, but it's better than some people. Anyway, so all this, the fake accounts, the tide pools, that is not the epic nothing. What the epic nothing is the lack of action. Okay? So what I've been trying to do for years is spur people to action, because my whole life is about action. I don't have the $50,000, $75,000 a year, and I probably should, but it's not there. I'm an old school craftsman, and adapting to these times has been very difficult. Anyway, so I don't have that $75,000 a year job. I can't just hire somebody to fix an electrical problem or a washing machine or build my website for me. Now, I have to study CMS and SEO and Whirlpool washing machines and National Electric Code, because you don't want to be laying in bed at night going, did I wire that up right? No, you want it nice. And electrical components are really surprisingly cheap in terms of doing the job right. But anyway, I have to know all this stuff, and it's an immense amount of knowledge. It's not all bad. It's interesting. It's really interesting. So when a problem comes along, somebody has a problem, my first thought, of course, is what can we do about it? And I tell people when I start to talk about it, let's discuss this, and if anything I say is partially wrong or completely wrong, at least you know what not to do. It's a starting point. Not only that, if I had a great idea, let's suppose I had a great idea, and somebody else ran with it and acted like it was their idea, and I got no credit, I don't care. What matters is getting stuff done, all right? So, rats. the video will tell me what time it is. I keep meaning to turn this over every 2 minutes. So, that's a time warp, 2 minutes. Yeah, so, doing stuff. I'll give you 3 examples, at least. There's a gal who came on, she said, I have the solution to throw a wrench in the leftist machine. And she said, they're collecting data on us, they know where we go and when we go and who our friends are and all this. If we stopped using smartphones, that would be such an interruption that would ruin their program, their agenda, whatever. And I'm like, yes, a lot of people use smartphones for fail videos, and it's but I got news for you. They use it for work. I've used them for work. Not as much as they say a laptop, because they need a bigger screen, but people use them for work, and they're going to only be using them for work more. There are timekeeping apps. There are all these different kinds of apps that are neat, and GPS. So, no, people aren't giving up smartphones for any political agenda. It is not going to happen. So I said, why don't we break this down into pieces? One thing we can do on some of our travels or certain times during the day is use a Faraday bag or a Faraday cage. That will stop all transmission in and out of the phone. And you just show up some other place. If they were tracking you, they'd be wondering, what do you do in the interim, in the meantime? if enough of us did this, they'd be like, you know, it might bug them. It might throw a little wrench in their machine in terms of where we're going and who we're meeting, you know, because we could all, every last one of us, be involved in the Russian collusion. Я говорю по-русски, да. You know, not really. I speak English actually, but that's enough to trigger them probably, for entertainment's sake, if nothing else. So that was the phone idea. Then I had another one about the deplatforming. And me, sometimes I have to get things right down to the bare bones in order to work out from there. So I said, I'm going to do a Reduxio. Somebody was talking about the deplatforming of the big name e-celebrities, and I said, all right, I'm going to, so what? Reduxio, let's reduce this up to absurdity. So what if they got deplatforming? I mean, upper 90% of their viewers are probably already red-pilled, right-wing. So it's not, why are they a threat to the left? You know, that's what I want to know. Working out from there, and I'm guessing here, correct me if I'm wrong, all I'm trying to do is start a discussion again. I'm guessing that little guys like me take a direct link or a piece of a thought, you know, did you know they're spending this much on this, or something like that, and we disseminate that information out to less informed people, and that's where the threat is. So the workaround would be for us to continue to do that. Most of the big names have their own website, and we continue to see them, and it takes a little more work. You can't do the convenience of click repost, you know. Now you'll have to post it on your own timeline. If you get deplatformed, there may be a way of dealing with that too, like have a list of all your contacts and in an office program, and then contact them all and say, hey, it's me. That might backfire. You might not want to respond to an email that says, hey, it's me. I don't know. But again, that's a technical thing and it can be worked around. My mind is, let's work with this. And what I've seen time and again, not only do people go, oh, well, I don't know, or maybe I'll try it. None of that. You get no replies at all. No likes, no reposts, no replies, no discussion, and this has been going on for years. And that, folks, is the epic nothing. All right? Another one would be traditional life. Now that I do know something about. All right? I have to know something about traditional life because the way they lived back 100 years ago, it can provide comfort and money savings, and I know a bit of that, and we can talk about it. I've done it, okay? But no discussion, all right? And that's the epic nothing. So I'm not trying to be discouraging here at all. In fact, there's another possibility. It's not that social media is a fail for everyone. It could be that God has separated me because I already have some other neat ideas I think are really neat and effective and get at the root of the problem. I don't have time to discuss it here, but, oh, hey, another elongated 2 minutes. What do you know? We're not even at 5 of these yet. That's another video. What to do about it. And it's very possible that that's what I'm supposed to have been doing all along, or ever since it came to me, and that I need to drop this. But for the most part, I'm going to be dropping a lot of my social media attempts at interaction. It's just not happening, okay? But I have some really cool videos planned. I want to keep them short. This one I couldn't. The next one, Lord willing, will be an interview with my mother-in-law. She's getting a bit elderly now, but you probably heard the song, I was country when country wasn't cool. She was homeschool when homeschool wasn't cool. They're like a homeschool pioneer, and the pressure and harassment they got as a family. It's interesting, and the social norms and what people did. I want to cover all that. I've already talked to her about it. I just didn't record it. It was like, this would be a great video. So that's coming up. Traditional living skills, how to, ideas about getting out of the echo chamber and away from the monitor, all that. Got some great ideas. So please stay tuned. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll talk to you later.